show, and as
Thanks,
always,
Jason. Happy to be here.
we're happy to have the picnic table out, minus beverages, but we're here to talk amongst the village about the village and all the great things that are going on during the summer months. Starting off, that's not exactly what I would call the great excitement of summer, but it is zoning, and of course some of the changes that are happening within the code itself. There's been, the Planning Commission has gathered together and said, some of these things need to change. What's going on there, and what exactly? I guess the big question is, why so long since there's been such a change?
Okay, and zoning is obviously a very important topic, so probably a good one to start with. I think every year since we updated our zoning code, you could pretty well expect as trends change in development and really nationwide, different laws are going to necessitate making amendments to our zoning code. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
And for example, a definition of financial institution. We want to be sure that we do indeed get what we would think about when we say a financial institution. So on that one, we're simply clarifying the definition going forward. This would affect our village center and mostly the shopping centers, the property we'd have available. Let's see, probably one of the bigger ones is we want to improve the aesthetics and upgrade the quality of the shopping center and really anything, but that's our primary property. That's why I keep picking on the shopping center. And signage, and what a lot of the signage that we have is very outdated. It's all different. There's nothing uniform.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It becomes a unifier as opposed to one person looking this way, and then as well as you're saying with the shopping center being back there with the new owner and everything, finally kind of coming together. It almost seems like a perfect marriage at the time.
I think so. Yeah, it's really working out well.
It is, and that you've got some changes going on here to make things right, so that when new development starts to occur there, everything goes according to plan.
That's correct.
Now, obviously, we're talking little things that are business related and things in the shopping center, but there's also some changes that are obviously going to affect some of the residents here in the village as well, correct? One being that caught my eye was the residential accessory buildings.
Right. We've just had a couple of instances where I guess there was a little confusion as to whether people could be residing in what we now consider accessory structures.
Sure.
And they cannot. We simply want to clarify that. So, yeah, I could potentially have, not that we have a huge issue with it, but I think the clarification will help, and,
well, no,
it's probably the most important thing.
Well, it does make sense. Again, it sounds like a lot of defining, redefining, and making everything kind of fit together cohesively.
Right. Yes.
That is there's actually going to be a public hearing for that in July 12th at 6:30. That's going to be at the chamber, in the chambers?
It sure will be.
And the basic is to kind of get a little more feedback from residents as well as kind of understand what's going on, is the gist of
That's right. And then Planning Commission will take those comments and rework anything, if they feel there's modifications necessary, and they are actually adding some of those compared to what originally came out of council, go to Planning Commission, and eventually they'll make a recommendation back to council, and then council will also have another public hearing on that before they would.
I was just going to say, because it's probably not going to really be voted on until probably September.
Yeah,
then
a couple months.
That's
away,
what I
sure.
That's what I thought. For anybody that's interested, that wants to read about any of the other instances that are in there that might be coming up prior to the meeting, you can go to the website greenhillsohio.us. There is a bit of information there. You can click down, and there's about 16 pages worth of information. Not heavy reading, but just enough, especially if anybody wants to contribute to that as well. Other things that are going on residentially, getting excited for the summer. Of course, spring is more of the clean-out session, but yard sales are very big and prevalent during this time, and our community-wide yard sale will be occurring in July as well, July 16th, starting at 8 a.m. Kind of big news for the village as well. Pretty wide received?
It is, yeah. It's one of those things that we keep getting calls. It seems like the village had it for a while, then didn't have it for a while, and there were different entities doing it. It was always really popular. So OLR has an annual rummage sale, and they are partnering with us. It'll all be on the same day. We'll do the community-wide yard sale portion of it. And we're encouraging people to register. They don't necessarily have to, but if they do, they'll be on a map that'll be available through the internet, or people can pick them up and they'll know where they should go shopping that day.
I love that idea. And again, you can register up till the 13th of July.
Right.
And they can do that either on the website or call you.
Yes.
Again, go to the website or call the number. And I like the idea of having the map this year. I don't know how often that you've done that, but to me, thinking back, I haven't heard that. And I think that's a wonderful way to get people out and about, and especially if you're a new resident, kind of getting used to the village itself.
We have an interesting street pattern, so it will certainly be helpful.
From what I remember from the last night's meeting as well, of the regular council meeting together, you had mentioned that Goodwill will also be coming with a bin for donations afterwards.
A truck.
Okay.
Yes. And we're kind of excited about that, because there's nothing worse than hoping you're going to sell everything at your sale and you don't.
Sure.
So if you don't want to take it back into your house, residents can just load it up and bring it. We'll have it somewhere on the shopping center property, maybe in the front where it's more visible.
Sure.
And they can just donate it to Goodwill. They'll have receipts. And
I was just going to say, make sure you get your receipt.
Yes.
Of course, summer always reminds, the start of summer, especially here in the village, always reminds me Pioneer Days and Community Day here at the village. That was last Saturday, kicking off with the run as well as the parade, and then a beautiful day at the pool. How well received was that this year?
I think it went really well, and it was discussed a little bit last night, and it sounds like it was good.
It was a good time. I know that the pool is one of our major gems when it comes to our summer activities. Again, well received, especially when it comes to memberships this year. Are we looking well?
It's going well. We're really pleased. Last couple of years, we've had really bad weather.
Sure.
So I tell you, this hot weather is just made a huge difference for us. So yes, it is really going well. We hope this holds out.
I was also seeing on the website that you're also offering swim lessons this year as well. Registration to calling you or on the website as well?
They can go online.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually teamunified.com.
Great.
And we do have a link on our website to get you there. And it's, I think they run all the way into July.
Okay.
So there's still time for
So
that.
it's time to...
I also take this opportunity to mention that we'll start half-price memberships on July 9th.
Okay, good.
Halfway through the season already. It's so hard to believe. But but that's always popular.
We had our first community day, obviously, during Pioneer Days. Are we looking for any other community involvement at the pool this year? I know that we've had that in the past.
Yeah, we will have another community day in August. I want to say it's August 27th. Don't have a calendar in front of me, but it's that last Saturday. And the rain date would be Labor Day weekend. So, yeah.
And how
Folks
late?
should be watching for that.
As always, and then look onto the bulletin board for that information as well, or check out the website.
My name is Lou Meyer, and I am with Davy Tree Expert Company. I'm a plant healthcare technician with them, but I'm also a certified municipal arborist through the International Society of Arboriculture, which is the accrediting agency for arborists in the United States and the world over. So it's pretty exciting. Like Yvonne said, we are the arborists for the city of Greenhills, so we work with the city closely on any tree work that has to happen. That includes removals, prunings. Last week I was out here grinding stumps for the city, so we're involved in all aspects of that, which is great. Which is why we wanted to be here tonight as kind of a thank you back to the village itself, as a way to say thanks for including us in the village, so we can give you a chance to talk about some trees. So without further ado, let's walk over to the first tree, which is over by the entrance there, and then we'll conveniently end up by the Creamy Whip for a finale. So we'll head that way. We have 8 species that we'll be discussing tonight that I've tagged around this park area, so it's not a far walk, but a nice jaunt. Species that are, for the most part, native to the area, I believe, which is something that we talk about a lot in arboriculture and landscaping as a whole. Over the past few years, from a sustainability standpoint, the discussion towards using native plantings is very beneficial for your local environment for drawing in pollinators, which is a big buzzword right now, and also providing resources for your native fauna to go along with the flora. So things like food for wildlife, whether that be, again, nectar for bees and butterflies and other important pollinators for food sources and other trees, but also food like acorns for squirrels or berries for birds that help them through their life stages, especially with long-distance migratory birds, to be able to build up the nutrients that they need for long flights. So when we talk about trees and shrubs, we discuss native versus non-native a lot. Now that's not to say that there isn't a place for non-native trees and shrubs. Ornamentals are very popular and can really draw out some importance to the landscape itself through color, texture, things like that. But we're shifting, especially at a municipal level like this, we're shifting towards more native plantings to represent more of what you see in nature. So that's kind of important. And this is the second tree on the stop, so we'll go right around the corner here as we walk. The first tree that we have here, does anyone want to take a guess as to what it is? We're like, a locust, very good. This is a honey locust in particular. We have two locusts that we find primarily in this area, honey locusts and black locusts. You can tell the difference by the leaves immediately. The black locusts have much larger leaves on the leaflets here. We also have tree tags throughout the park, and I'll explain those real quick. The tree tags describe the benefits that the tree species provide over the course of a year. And you could set it up for as many years as you want for it to represent the value. I chose 10 years because it's a good round number. So per year, a honey locust of this size in this area, this zip code, provides $61 per year of benefits. And that covers a range of matrices, if you will. On the back of all these tags, it discusses three of those in particular. One of them is stormwater reduction, so gallons of stormwater reduction over the course of 10 years. This tree in particular provides 25,000 gallons worth of mitigation over the course of 10 years. Carbon reduction, this tree takes in roughly 3,600 pounds of carbon from the atmosphere over the course of 10 years. And then finally, electrical savings. This one we calculate in kilowatts per hour. There's a website you can go to, treebenefits.com, and it's on all of these tags around the park, so if you forget. And that you can enter in the species, the size, and the location, and it'll tell you what those values are, which is really important for talking about values on your property from homeowners' properties too. And I actually, the homeowner value is a little different than the park value due to a couple of reasons. But mainly because of the shade provided by the tree on your property, and also we know that real estate values go up with trees on property. Obviously, if it's a hazard tree, it's gonna drop it some, but trees do enhance your property value. If this was in your front yard or your side yard, it would add a benefit of $78 per year to your residence. And of course, as the tree gets bigger, more benefits are provided, which is kind of fun. But this is a honey locust, so again, it's a native tree to the area. Gladitia tricanthos is the Latin name, and we use Latin names not just because they sound cool, and they do, but we really use them for communication with nurseries. Different trees in different areas have different names. A couple of them on the walk do, and I'll talk about that when we get to them, but that's why we use the Latin name. The honey locust itself is important. Is an important one for ID purposes because of the unique pattern of the leaves. This part itself is actually the leaf, and the little round things are leaflets. So there are many different leaves and many different leaflets on a honey locust. Same with the black locust, but again, the black locust has slightly larger leaves and a few other ID tips that are different. Honey locusts usually in the wild have thorns. They do have cultivars that are thornless. This is one of them from our industry. They're a lot more fun to work with than the thorned ones. But this is one of those important trees for the environment because it's a good native tree. Again, the benefits, the stormwater reduction is very important. And we'll talk about that more on the walk, but this is a great tree for that. Good fall, yellow color, loses its leaves. There aren't any evergreens on the tree walk. There is one in the park that we'll walk by. We'll discuss that briefly. But this is the honey locust. So any questions on the honey locust?
I have a locust in my backyard. It has the thorns.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you have a
That's-
locust, there's the
yeah.
thorns. And
I was just commenting about my
Okay.
locust in the backyard.
Sorry, I was a little late.
thank you.
Is it just the black locust or honey locust that have the thorns, or either one can have?
Either one of the thorns, yeah. Either one of the thorns. The black locust has the larger of the thorns that are, is that right? I'm pretty sure, yeah. So those are a little more aggressive thorns. But no, this is the cultivar that does not have it. And that leads us to, while we're going to the next tree, when we talk about cultivars, we can kind of design trees in a way these days through selective breeding, kind of like they do with dogs and cats and the rest, and other ways as well, so that we can include desirable traits. So for instance, a tree that we plant in street areas a lot, in neighborhood areas, to have a thornless version is really important because you don't want kids climbing trees with thorns on them that are going to hurt them. We see this a lot with flowers with different colors. So a purple coneflower, which by the name is purple, you now have all sorts of different colors. You name a color and they can make it basically. So different cultivars within a subspecies we can kind of work with to find desirable traits. The next tree on the walk, does anyone want to take a guess as to this? And these are dead giveaways. Not walnuts. They look like walnuts though. The Buckeyes it is. I think I heard someone say that. So this is a Buckeye, exactly.
Wow, I didn't know we had a Buckeye here.
And this is an Ohio Buckeye. We have two Buckeye trees in this area, and then two shrubs, although one of those shrubs is kind of a tree. The trees are the yellow Buckeye and the Ohio Buckeye. There's also a red Buckeye, and then a bottle brush Buckeye.
Are these Buckeyes going to drop and you can eat the nut?
I don't know if you can eat the nut. Yeah, it's not peanut butter filled chocolate in there.
No, I know it's
That
not,
does
but
not.
I know there's a Buckeye, and I've seen them in Iowa, but it's nice and smooth.
Oh really? Yeah, no, it's that. It's like that. Yeah, the things that. Yeah, you don't really eat the Buckeyes. Not that I know of. Do squirrels? Oh yeah. Wildlife will eat them.
So
Absolutely.
those look pretty coarse.
Yeah, these look pretty coarse. The nut is inside of these. And yeah, let me take off a few of these, and you guys can pass them around.
I bought a Buckeye tree. It says Buckeye tree, but they're real big leaves. So that's a different type of Buckeye? Or?
No, this will get there eventually.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, if you guys want to pass these around.
Can we put these like in our front yard or where we?
The yellow Buckeye has a smooth husk,
Yeah, I think it is.
and the Ohio Buckeye, which are the ones we're passing around, has the thorny husk. So it's a little thorny. Good medium-sized tree. These will get to, I don't know, 30, maybe 50 feet tall in the wild. Actually, I have the notes right here. 30 to 60 feet tall and 1 to 2 feet in diameter. Now, this is another thing that I want to talk about. I've got this tool in my hand that I'm carrying around. When we talk about tree sizes, we often say it'll get 1 to 2 feet big. Or when you buy a tree from a nursery, they'll say it's a 2-inch maple tree. And what they're talking about is the diameter of the trunk. We have two tools that we use, well, three if you want to count just looking at a tree and saying, I think it's about 6 inches. This is a 6-inch Ohio Buckeye. And one of the things we use is what's called a cruiser stick. Comes from timber cruising in the timber industry. It's also known as a Biltmore stick. It has a couple different measurements here, inches on one side, and then the tree diameter side. And how we use this is we hold it, it's kind of rough because different people have different arm lengths, but you hold it up against the trunk and line up the left side with the left side of the trunk and use your eyes and say, yeah, it's about 6 inches at that height. And then the numbers get closer together as you get farther out. So for a larger tree, that angle it changes. So if you guys want to pass that around, you're more than welcome to look at it. We also use something called a DBH tape. It's diameter at breast height, which is how we measure a lot of trees. And that tape goes around like a measuring tape. And I've got one in my backpack here. Much like a measuring tape, and it's set wide apart so that when you put it around the tree, it tells you what the diameter is. And you guys can pass this around as well. So those are some of the tools that we use for measuring trees. And then for height, there's all sorts of different ways. Obviously, for exactness, you can use lasers and all sorts of things. One interesting way to do it, and if I can see that in just a moment, the stick is what we call the stick trick. If you hold a stick, any stick you want, about an arm's length out, and then at a right angle from your eye, and you walk back until the top of that stick lines up with the tree, you formed a pretty good triangle there. And by measuring out on the ground the distance from the tree you find the height of the tree. So if I had a measuring tape, it's roughly 15 feet tall, 15 feet to the tree, that's a 15-foot tall tree. So if you're ever looking to do a height measurement, or you're worried about, is this tree going to reach my house if it falls, you can do kind of a rough measurement doing that. And you get a chance to see that, so you may know. But the Ohio buckeye, the Latin name Aesculus glabra, which is a fun one to say, is a great native tree to Ohio. So that's the Ohio buckeye. Any questions on that?
I know certain trees are more prone to disease than others and problems. Is there a chart that gives you an idea?
Yeah. The question was, there are trees that are more prone to diseases, also bacteria, and it's not just, there's fungus, bacteria, biotic and abiotic is what we say, so biological and abiotic. And yeah, there are. So for instance, the buckeyes are prone to anthracnose, which you'll see in the leaves. These are showing some minor, but not really any at all. But yeah, different trees have different things. You can research it online. What we always suggest is talking to your local arborist to come out and take a look at the trees. But there are all sorts of books, literature, online resources to find those. So if you have, let's say, an Ohio buckeye and there are problems with the leaves, if you search for leaf problem with Ohio buckeye, it'll spit out a few answers and you can line up the pictures there.
I guess I was thinking for planting, if you're going to plant something, you want something that's got
Oh yeah, okay, great. So the question is for planting, if I'm going to plan my lawn and say I want to plant a tree, but I don't want one that has a lot of problems, I consult with your local nursery. Every tree has a problem one way or another, or has the potential for problems. We treat a lot of them through natural ways and alternative ways as well, chemical ways for different things. Yeah, Ohio State has a great resource center for that. Other Midwest states are great for trees that you find in this area. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's move on to the next tree, which is right down the way here. While we're walking, I do want to briefly touch on, I stated that I'm an arborist with the International Society of Arboriculture, which is I'm going to say the governing body for arboriculture, but they do a lot of the certification processes. And they have arborists registered in Spain, Australia, in Germany, all over the United States. If you are going to have tree work done at your house, if there's ever a problem with the trees, you're thinking, oh, there's a disease, or oh, it needs to come down or whatnot, we always, obviously being a representative of Davey Tree, we suggest calling Davey, but at the very least, try and consult a company that has an arborist on staff that can come out and look. Because, to get that certification, and we can keep walking, we're down here. To get that certification, we go through a lot of testing, and also you have to be in the industry for so long. And what that does is help weed out folks who just kind of buy a pickup truck and a chainsaw and are arborists overnight, because those are the folks that you don't want working on your property in case something goes wrong. At the very, very least, if you're hiring a tree company to do any work, make sure they're insured, because we see it, I wouldn't say frequently, but frequently enough where someone calls in and says, yeah, we hired someone to cut this tree down, it went the wrong way onto my house, they jumped in their truck, drove away, and changed their phone number, can you help us out? And at that point, it's a lot more expensive than going with a certified arborist or an insured company, so save yourself the time and the trouble and the money. All right, the next tree on our stop is one of the important ones for pollinators, one of the trees. Anyone want to take a guess? It's not a difficult, it's not a crab, no. It's not a difficult one, but it's not one that you see all too frequently. Linden, that's exactly right, a little leaf linden, which is a very popular park tree in the United States. The little leaf linden definitely keeps its size. 30, actually, they say it can get up to 100 feet tall. Rarely do we see that, that size. And 1 to 3 feet in diameter at the base there. some of the benefits that this tree brings to you in a park, it brings 22 value dollars to the property per year. In your home, it'd be 38. This tree does a fairly decent job of stormwater runoff mitigation, absorbing over the course of 10 years, 12,000 gallons, 1,300 pounds of carbon, and saves roughly 310 kilowatt hours of electricity. The little leaf linden does put off flowers. They're not big flowers like a magnolia, but they are flowers that are very important for your bee population. The bees and the butterflies too, but really the bees, which are pollinators for the environment around, are attracted to this tree for food sources. Great trees, good color, manageable size, so they're great for the side of your house. Don't put them up against the house, but you know, if you don't want to plant a giant oak tree next to your house, this is a great medium-sized tree there, kind of like the Ohio buckeye. Yeah, Tilia cordata. You do have larger lindens as well that get much bigger, but this is the little leaf. I believe it's not, actually. This one, I'm almost positive, is European in origin. So, no, but a good tree anyways to have. But good question, yeah. Any other questions? Oh, he asked if this tree was native, I'm sorry. Any other questions about that? No? Okay, well, let's keep moving. Cool, well, yeah, we're pretty sure that this is a red buckeye. The gentleman that had the question earlier is not here. Slightly different size leaves. 2, 4, 6. This one has 6 leaves, and the Ohio usually has 5. Is that right? Sure, sounds right. So yeah, slightly different tree than the Ohio buckeye down there. Obviously, this one doesn't have the fruiting bodies on it, the nuts that are hanging down. So different buckeye, but same family, which is awesome. So good one to look at if you're looking at tree differences. They're in the same family. The next tree on our stop is this one right here, which is a northern red oak, which I didn't give you a chance to guess on that one. I'm sorry. But the northern red oak, obviously oak trees are very important to our environment here. The acorns for the squirrels, these are massive. They're massive trees. Some of the largest trees in this area are oak trees, and so they do a lot for those benefits, environmental benefits of stormwater reduction. This one is a very impressive number, if I can remember it. Yeah, over the next 10 years, this will take in 111,000 gallons of stormwater runoff. And when we talk about stormwater runoff, one of the important factors as to why trees are good at taking up water, when we have large rain events, the water hits the ground and rushes off, and all the nutrients in the ground kind of sit at that ground level. So it draws those nutrients away, but then what we're seeing from a municipal standpoint is that our storm water systems are becoming overcharged. And with all that water rushing in, and that has to do with us taking trees out of the environment, putting in pavement and other things, but all that water hits the storm sewer systems and they blow out. In Hamilton County, we have a real bad problem with that down in the Mill Creek and other areas. And so for trees to draw that storm water out and slow its percolation into the ground helps out in a myriad of ways, from retaining nutrients on the topsoil level downstream to blowing out sewers or keeping it from blowing out sewers. So the red oak does a great job of that. The oak family is the Quercus family. Some people say Quercus family, but it starts with a Q, Q-U, so however you want to say that. This one's the red oak. Let me take a clipping here.
And good evening. I'd like to welcome you to yet another edition of Talking with Greenhills. I'm very fortunate to be with Yvonne Kovac, the village manager, here on this fall edition. You're already wearing your flannel. I'm so jealous.
I know. What's a cold day outside?
I know. Once it seemed like the 22nd hit, and sure enough, fall made it.
That was it.
It's one of my favorite times of the year.
It's beautiful.
Of course, we're looking forward to fall, but we're going to also look back on what's been going on in the village. It's been a great summer this year. We have been a very active village, so to speak.
Yes.
Obviously, we kept tradition going with Concert on the Commons,
Yes.
thanks to Jim Miller. What a great undertaking that takes to put that on for us here at the village.
And as you know, we honored him this year with a Jim Miller Day. first Wednesday of every June for eternity.
For eternity.
Is going to be Jim Miller Day in Greenhills. So,
I'm sure you did not have any opposition when it came
No.
to that. No.
he does a fabulous job.
And for those who aren't aware, Jim takes care of all of the village. He does speak with the village, but he takes care of all of it when it comes to getting the bands, getting everything together.
All the fundraising. Yes, he sure does.
That is one amazing undertaking.
He's dedicated, and he even plans his vacations around it. So, yeah, we're really lucky to have him.
We had a very large schedule with it this year, which was very good. Of course, unfortunately, one concert did not make it, which was the steel drum band, which I always get upset because that is one of my favorite
That's
ones.
a really good one, yeah.
But we cannot control the weather.
Right.
But again, looking forward to next year. Have you spoken to Jim? Are we looking to have about the same type of?
I believe so, yes. He's already working on it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So
You bet, it'll be a good one.
it will
sure.
be good. So we're going to keep Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Summers.
Yes.
Get
And
to the
some
concerts.
Mondays.
And some
it's
Mondays,
trickled over
they're-
to some Mondays, and they're good for some of the rescheduling too.
Yeah, we know that, unfortunately, because
Yeah,
rain
yeah.
can be your friend, but also can be an enemy when it comes to something like this.
Yeah.
Of course, with summer enjoyment comes the pool. How did the pool do this
It
year?
was a good year for the pool because it was so incredibly hot.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 community days at the pool went over very well, so that was great. We did our tree walk this summer.
Yes, we
which
did.
was a new event for us. Yeah, and we want to build on that.
Good.
And I suspect that next year we'll do one in the spring, and we'll probably focus in the historic area, probably the A and the B blocks.
What brought that about? I mean, because again, it was one of my favorite things to see coming out of the village this year when it comes to something new, something very innovative. We do take care of things when it comes to Arbor Day, and that is an annual thing that we love seeing as well. But this is something new where it was taking a great physical activity, getting those in the village out in the village to know a little bit more about it, because who knew the variety that has been just in the Commons area
Right,
alone.
that was just like a big city block area. There was so
Exactly.
much information. So, in our older districts where we have really mature trees, some of them have been here since we were developed, that one's going to be really fascinating. And I think it comes from, we do have a lot of interest in the trees from our residents. And not just about the street trees, but about trees on their own property, and we're always getting calls. So I think that the tree board just felt it would be a good thing to do.
I
So-
keep telling them to do them because I think it's a wonderful
I
way to
do
get to know your
too.
village
Yeah.
in a unique way.
Yes.
I mean, you can talk about what a neighborhood is, but realistically, if you don't understand your canopy,
Right.
you don't really understand what goes on underneath it. So if you got
And
to
it's
learn above it.
Also a good thing to do on a hot summer day because
Isn't it,
you're
though?
walking under the shade. So-
Exactly. And again, you're learning something different. And I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the opening of a lot of the, I won't say trails, because they are existing walkways, but the walking paths that are within the village now as well. So it was kind of great communal tie-in.
Yeah,
of those
to
as
bring it
well.
all together. And you raised a good point. Some of the paths or streets that you drive or paths that you walk every day. Now with the Heritage Tree Program going on, and residents are pointing these out, and you're like noticing these trees that you've always passed, but you just really didn't look that close at them. It's fun. It's a fun thing.
For those
There's
who
a lot of interest.
For those who are unfamiliar, the Heritage Tree Program, could you explain that a little bit?
Sure, they can nominate a tree either that they know to be old, or that might have had a part in our history, or might simply mean something to them, and submit that to the tree board for consideration and designation. And if we do agree that it's a heritage tree, it will, eventually there'll be a plaque on it, and the resident will receive a certificate.
So again,
acknowledging
it's
it.
a
So it'll go on it'll go on a permanent register, which we'll keep online.
Oh, great. I was going to say, because unfortunately, we know how certain people are, that the plaque may disappear or something may happen
Could
to the
happen,
pit.
right.
But at least the acknowledgement is still somewhere in a record
Yes.
that keeps going.
Yes.
It's a great, again, that's another great way, as Greenhills is a very historic place. The villagers love to keep things alive when it comes to their history, and what a great way to have something that's been there a little bit longer than probably some of the settlers that started.
Right, I know. The trees grew up with the community.
Sure.
So that is pretty exciting. Yeah.
Well, we've seen some great things coming from the summer, but of course we have to look out to the fall.
Right.
And just around the corner is Harvest Fest
Yes.
already. Anything new, exciting, and different? And when is it?
It's October 15th from 1 to 9 p.m. It will be at the market stand behind the Greenhills Shopping Center. There will also be some activities up on the commons.
Okay.
We'll have bouncy houses. New this year is laser tag.
Oh,
So that
interesting.
should be fun. Yeah, we kind of want to have something for the teen audience.
Sure.
So we thought that would be a good thing.
Will they be outside or inside?
Outside.
Oh,
This
wow.
will be outside
Very interesting.
activities. Yeah, we have a petting zoo.
Okay.
Then we'll have the hayride to connect the commons with the market stand area.
All right.
And down by the market stand, I think we have 28 vendors lined up.
Wow.
For down
Is
there.
that more than last year?
No, it's actually a few less.
Okay.
Because we wanted to just have a little bit more room
Okay.
in the arrangement and a little bit more conducive to walking around.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have food. We have a great assortment of vendors and some crafts and activities like pumpkin bowling, pumpkin painting, things like that.
Are you
Should be fun.
looking more towards just more of communal activities, or will there be a stage set up for demonstrations or things of that nature this
There
year?
will be. There'll be some presentations. There'll be some demonstrations. There'll be bands, and yeah, just a real variety. Even amongst some of the vendors, we have some who are doing crafts that people can do. We're having face painting at one of the booths. Just a good variety. We worked hard to make sure there was a good variety, not a lot of repetition.
Now, this is its third year, if I'm
I believe it's a fourth
fourth year. Okay,
Yes.
I knew I didn't want to be misquoted, but I knew it was still a very infant new event that goes on at the village. And for those who have watched council, there was some concern that it may not be around or some things may change. As manager, do you feel that it is something that obviously is important, that it needs to tie the village together? Is it an event?
As an event, was approved by council to proceed. I was
Sure.
actually the one who was concerned about spending the money.
No, and that's fair. That's why I'd like to know, because, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
there's a difference between wanting to do these great things,
Right.
but of course you have to be fiscally aware of them as well.
Correct. And our recreation money for this year is coming down the home stretch. But I think we are able to pull it off this year cheaper than
Okay.
we have certainly been able to last year. So that's good. I feel good that it's
Good.
going to be a great festival and it's also in budget.
Now, the big question, as always, rain or shine?
Rain or shine, but it is going to shine this year. No more of that rain. We've been sending letters and everything.
That's always the tricky thing when it comes to the
Yeah,
fall, obviously.
yes, it
but
is,
but
but
there
it's
is
rain or
noth-
shine.
but there is nothing like a good sunny fall
I
day,
know,
though.
it's just perfect.
It-
the coloring and
The
everything. is
colors,
just
the
perfect.
crispness in the air, the
Yes.
smell, the sounds.
Yes, so true.
If anyone can tell, I do love the fall.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, we better see you there.
Well, you know. And of course, once we go through the Harvest Fest, it's not too far before the snow starts to fall. I hate to
know.
admit that.
It's okay.
But that also means light up is on its way.
Which is a fun thing. And if we could have a little snow that night for some ambiance,
Sure.
that would be okay. Yeah, light up should be a lot of fun this year too. We'll
Good.
have the carriage rides as usual.
As usual.
We'll be doing ice carving, and he will be also carving a game this year, like a ring toss.
Oh, interesting.
For us,
Because he has
so
been there
that's
for a
fun.
number of years now, and I enjoy watching each year
Yeah, I
something new
know.
and something different.
It is really interesting. And we are really excited because the Boy Scouts are going to sell Christmas trees. So
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, won't that be a
That's
nice-
great. Now, they will still be having the bonfire as well.
Oh, they will.
correct? Okay, good.
Santa will be there.
Oh,
the hot
that I
chocolate,
did not
the bonfire. Oh yeah, no, it's all the usual will be there. So
Good.
We're just adding some Christmas
But
trees.
the
to
Christmas
it,
trees
so-
will be the new addition. Now, the money for the Christmas trees will be going to the Boy Scouts, not to the village?
Correct, they're doing
Okay.
that activity.
That is
yeah.
for their
We're just
fundraiser.
excited because it'll make a nice activity. It'll look very Norman Rockwellish.
Yeah. Now,
in the
see, now
corner
you
of the
definitely
commons, so-
definitely need the snow because
Yeah.
there's the ambiance there.
Absolutely. So we think it'll be very nice.
And there's nothing like that fresh cut smell of pine
Right.
for Christmas.
Oh, I know.
It truly is.
So yeah, we're real excited about that. Looking forward to it.
And I know that I've obviously covered a number of the light ups in a number of years, and it's very difficult to kind of gauge how people are doing it because weather is always the factor. It might be too cold, it might be too snowy, or things like that. Do you think that is one of the teetering moments to be able to get people either as a vendor or as a shower or, carver, everybody who comes, versus those who are wanting to be a part of the activity? What do you think the give and take on that is?
Well, for Harvest Fest, the fact that we've had rain hasn't slowed us down in getting vendors this year.
Good.
In fact, we have a waiting list. So,
Wow.
yeah,
All
that's
right.
great. For Light Up, we're a little less reliant on having vendors. If it has been canceled a couple times, but that was our choice, not
True.
theirs.
And,
They were
and
willing to.
one was definitely for
continue.
very cold weather, and the other was just for a sloppy day.
Yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean, those made sense.
Otherwise, we'll do it. That one's going to have good weather this year, too. Feeling very optimistic.
I'm glad because, again, these are great items that unify the community. You see very wonderful faces, smiling faces. They have a great time. And if you haven't been to one, please join. It's Harvest Fest starting in October 15th. And of course, Light Up is the first Friday of December.
Which I believe is December 2nd.
I think you're correct.
so.
I'm already working on my schedule ahead of time. So, yeah,
Okay.
I believe you're correct on that. So,
Oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Not only green in summer's year, but the winds blow clear. Oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Willie, take your little drum, run and bring your flute and come. Let the music that you play, toodaloo, pat-a-pat-a-pat. Let the music that you play make a joyful holiday. Willie, take your little drum, run and bring your flute and come. Let the music that you play, toodaloo, pat-a-pat-a-pat. Let the music that you play make a joyful holiday. You sound beautiful. Years ago, on a deep winter night, high in the hedge, a star shone bright, while in a manger a wee baby lay, sweetly asleep on a bed of hay. Jesus the Lord was that baby so small, lay down to sleep in a humble stall. Then came the stars and they stood overhead, shedding its light round his little bed. Baby Jesus, how tiny thou art! I'll make a place for thee in my heart. And when the stars in the heavens I see, ever and always I think of thee. Deck the halls of WIS, fa la 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 la. It's Christmas time, lucky guess, fa la 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 la. We've been working hard our school year, fa la 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 la. Santa, don't forget to stop here, fa la 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 la.
It's Christmas time. The time is here. It's time to spread the love and the holiday cheer. Getting together with my family. Pretty little packages under the tree. Baking on cookies, chocolate chips in the middle in the house with my friends doing Santa Claus riddles. Make it snow